A lot has happened in the world since June 2020. Here in Hainan, people are busy constructing the world's largest free trade port. Hainan, the only tropical island province in China, boasts a coastline stretching for more than 1,900 kilometers, replete with exquisite coastal scenery. A sought-after holiday destination popular among Chinese and overseas tourists, Hainan is symbolic of China's reform and opening up, striving as it is to attain the highest degree of openness, enabling free trade and investment facilities, free cross-border capital flows, and convenient transportation and access for people and goods. Areas subject to independent customs operation will be set up throughout Hainan. Zero tariffs, low tax rates, and a simplified tax system will be progressively introduced. Hainan welcomes investors from all over the world with open arms to share in opportunities and shape the future. Hainan, located in the country's southernmost reaches, is both the only tropical island province and the largest special economic zone in China. Hainan is just across the sea from the Philippines, Brunei, Indonesia, and Malaysia. It is an important communication hub connecting the Indian and Pacific Oceans with Northeast and Southeast Asia. In 2018, at the annual Boao Forum for Asia, China announced to the world that it intended to transform Hainan into a free trade pilot zone, as the first step towards establishing a free trade port with Chinese characteristics by the phasing in of relevant policies and a system of good governance. This is regarded as a bold move that will further China's opening up and help to promote economic globalization.
这是中央着眼于国内国际发展全局做出的一个重大的一个决策，它表明中国积极主动扩大开放、全面深化改革的一个决心和步骤。
On the 1st of June 2020, the master plan of Hainan Free-Trade Port was officially released, setting out in detail the general requirements, the system design, the time frame for each phase, and the overall implementation. Detailed plans have been made for various fields, including talent recruitment, business operations, education, the zero-tariff taxation system, tourism, air and sea transportation, data and communications, and the opening up of the financial sector. Hainan Free Trade Port will provide for the phased liberalization and facilitation of trade, investment, cross-border capital flows, entry and exit of people, and transportation. The tax regime will be simplified, with low taxes or even zero tariffs levied. The master plan states clearly that before 2025, any raw or auxiliary materials entering Hainan, either for use in the production process or such materials entering the province for processing, including service trades, will not be subject to tariffs. According to the most recent Hainan Free Trade Port Zero Tariff list of raw and auxiliary materials, duty-free items now include such agricultural products as coconuts, resources such as coal, xylene and similar chemicals, prefabricated fiber optic rods, as well as aeroplanes, other aircraft, and spare parts for boats and ships. In all, 169 taxable commodities will be exempt from tax under the new rules. China is calling out to the world and beckoning it in. With the setting up of Hainan Free Trade Port, China is marking yet another milestone along its path of reform and opening up. In establishing Hainan Free Trade Port, China looks forward to forging ever more mutually beneficial partnerships. Since its designation as a special economic zone in 1988, Hainan has been a pioneer in China's reform and opening up process. The Free Trade Port currently offers the world's greatest degree of economic freedom. Generally located within the territory of a country or region, but outside its customs and tax jurisdiction, a free flow of goods, capital and labour is permitted, with the vast majority of commodities not being subject to customs duty. Typical examples of free trade ports are Hong Kong, Singapore, Rotterdam, and Dubai. In order to achieve and maintain this high degree of openness, Hainan has drawn on lessons from other countries. Hainan Free-Trade Port seeks to uphold its Chinese characteristics as well as its own unique features and advantages. Hainan will focus on developing tourism, modern services, and high-tech industries instead of entrepot trade and manufacture. Special emphasis will be placed on people's all-round development to encourage them and stimulate their creativity in order to shape an open economy of the highest standard. Hainan is marching onwards and upwards at a steady pace. On the 3rd of June 2020, 11 major sites were simultaneously inaugurated into Hainan Free-Trade Port. They are Yangpu Economic Development Zone, Hainan Bo'ao Lecheng International Medical Tourism Pilot Zone, Haikou Jiangdong New Area, Haikou National High-Tech Industrial Development Zone, Haikou Integrated Free Trade Zone, Sanya Yazhoubei Science and Technology City, Sanya Central Business District, Wenchang International Aerospace City, Hainan Lingshui Lian International Education Innovation Pilot Zone, Hainan Ecological Software Park, and Haikou Fulxing Internet Industrial Park. On the same day, the Civil Aviation Administration of China issued the implementation plan to trial the 7th freedom of the air in Hainan Free Trade Port. It encourages and supports foreign airlines to enjoy the so-called 7th freedom of the air to operate passenger and cargo services in Hainan beyond existing freedoms of the air. The 7th freedom of the air means the privilege for an airline registered in one state or region to fly between two countries while carrying passengers or cargo other than those of the carrier's home country. It is the first time that China's aviation authority has trialled the 7th freedom of the air simultaneously for air passenger and cargo services. The move marks the highest level in the world of granting freedom of the air to foreign airlines. This is a unilateral open sky policy, and China does not require foreign countries to grant the same traffic rights enshrined in the 7th freedom of the air. Policies regarding air transportation, especially the freedom of the air, will significantly boost the development of Hainan Free Trade Port. Haikou Jiangdong New Area is one of the key pilot and innovation zones of Hainan Free Trade Port. Covering an area of 298 square kilometers, it is divided into the Ecological Civilization Experimental Area in the east and the Industrial City Integration Area in the west, including an airport industrial park, Guilinyang National Tropical Agricultural Park, and Guilinyang College Area and Residential Area. The Meilan International Airport Phase 2 expansion project is being carried out in Jiangdong New Area. With investment of over 10 billion Chinese yuan, its newest 4F flight zone can accommodate the A380, the world's largest passenger aircraft. When the new phase is up and running, Meilan International Airport will adopt dual runway operation, which is capable of providing services to an annual maximum throughput of 45 million passengers and 600,000 tons of cargo and mail. It will also provide necessary conditions for the 5th and 7th freedoms of the air, ensuring an annual throughput of 8 to 10 million international passengers. This will enable Hainan to transform itself into a super aviation hub. In the afternoon of the 8th of November 2020, a large all-cargo flight carrying 110 tons of goods took off from Meilan Airport for Amsterdam Schiphol Airport in the Netherlands. This was the first return cargo-only flight connecting Hainan with Europe. Hainan is also connected to the world through its seafaring activities. Yangpu, a deep water port on the west of the island, is the first bonded port in Hainan. It has been given special mention in the overall plan for the construction of Hainan Free Trade Port. In the overall plan for the construction of Hainan Free Trade Port, it is stated that Yangpu will be made an international port of registry. By registering more foreign ships, Yangpu is on course to attract more high-end shipping industry resources. A port of registry is where a ship's identity is issued. According to laws in many countries, a ship owner can choose the port of registry at will. In China, a ship owner is free to choose the port of registry most convenient for the operation of his or her business. Although there are ports of registry in Shanghai and Guangdong, many domestically built ships or ships operating in China still choose to register in countries such as Panama and Singapore. One important reason for this is the low tax and tax rebate policies that these countries offer. Most mature free trade ports are located in developed shipping areas. Yangpu is grasping emerging opportunities to attract elements from the shipping industry to foster local development more broadly.
作为中原海运集团首艘注册登记于中国杨浦港的船舶，今天的交付意义十分重大。
The Xinguang, owned and operated by COSCO Shipping, is the first cargo ship to be registered in Yangpu.
注册中国杨浦港，那本身有一条比较优惠的政策，就是在境内制造，挂中国杨浦港的船籍从事国际运输，可以享受出口退税。其次，还有比较明显的有对地方经济有促进的，比如说内外贸或同船的，在杨浦港中转，这样的境内船舶可以加注保税油。
The master plan states that by 2025, Hainan will have established Yangpu Port, China, as a port of registry and have adopted a more open shipping policy.
6月3号，海关总署已经专门针对杨浦保税港区公布了海关特殊监管的一个管理办法。也就是说，海南自贸港总体方案里面明确的，未来在全岛范围内要做的事，从目前先在我们杨浦保税港区先行先试。所以从这个意义上来说呢，杨浦保税港区啊，当仁不让，当之无愧是海南自贸港的先行区。
With favorable geographical conditions, Yangpu is an important shipping hub connecting China with Southeast Asia. Currently, there are 45 shipping berths, and shipping routes cover all the main ports in Southeast Asia.
你要看一下装载情况下，必须要按照船上的要求来放锁。
Lin Wudi, Deputy General Manager of Container Services for State Development and Investment Corporation, Jurong Yangpu Port, inspects the containers placed under his supervision on a daily basis.
我印象中，应该90年的时候，我们的吞吐量也是在1万吨左右。
当时就在只有一期只有2台门机，2个泊位，这是当时的情况是这样。
With the policy of port registry coming into effect, the throughput of containers in Yangpu is steadily increasing.
到现在为止，已经发展到有3个区、10个泊位、19部门机、4部暗桥，还有大量的后方机械，跟过去比，有翻天覆地的变化。
The port and shipping industry is one of the pillar industries of Yangpu Economic Development Zone. Yangpu Economic Development Zone is located in the center of the Pan-Beibu Gulf area. Guangxi lies to its north across the sea, with Vietnam to its west. The ASEAN Free Trade Area is next door. More than 20 nearby ports are all just 200 nautical miles away. Yangpu is the closest deep-water port in Beibu Gulf to the main international shipping line. It is also the closest petrochemical and oil and gas reserve base to the oil and gas deposits in the South China Sea and to oil from the Middle East, which makes it the first entry point for oil from the Middle East and Africa into China. One of Hainan Free-Trade Port's key industrial parks, accelerating the development of Yangpu Economic Development Zone, has laid a solid foundation for the shipping industry. In 2019, the throughput of Yangpu surpassed 6 million tons. The release of the master plan has drawn the world's attention to Yangpu. It states clearly that domestic ships with both domestic and foreign traded goods on board, which transit through Yangpu, are allowed to refuel with bonded fuel required for the voyage, or a tax rebate could be claimed if the ships refuel with locally produced fuel oil. The changes taking place in Yangpu are geared towards bringing in a brighter future by attracting more shipping industry resources, transforming itself into a regional focal point for international container shipping, improving the reputation of Yangpu as a port of registry, and accelerating the construction of Yangpu as an international hub for land and sea transportation. Sanya, the second largest city in Hainan, also known as the Oriental Hawaii, is a renowned holiday destination. Haitang Bay in Sanya has the highest concentration of high-end resort hotels in China. More than 30 five-star hotels are dotted along the coastline and are capable of receiving more than 1 million tourists every year. Sanya International Duty-Free Shopping Complex in Haitang Bay covers an area of 72,000 square meters, offering nearly 300 world-famous brands. This is the largest duty-free shopping complex in the world. The offshore duty-free policy is one bolstered by Hainan Free-Trade Port and one which has a direct and extensive impact on an individual level. Originally, the duty-free quota was set at 16,000 Chinese yuan per person. From the 1st of December 2018, in line with the development of Hainan Free-Trade Port, it was raised to 30,000 yuan per person per year with no limit on the number of visits. On the 1st of July 2020, a new amendment to the policy raised the threshold to 100,000 Chinese yuan per person per year with no limit on the number of visits, as well as expanding the types of commodities available from 38 to 45. The 8,000 Chinese yuan duty-free limit for a single item was cancelled and 7 popular items were added, including electronic items. From the 1st of July to the 31st of October 2020, in the space of just 4 months, and after the introduction of the new offshore duty-free policy, the sales revenue from duty-free goods reached 12,010 million Chinese yuan, more than double that of the same period the previous year. These changes have been brought about by effective policies, which are essential in constructing a high-quality free trade port. Tourists also benefit from these positive policies, which are aiding in raising consumption to new levels. Haikou International Duty-Free City is tipped to be China's largest single duty-free commercial complex with a planned investment of 12.86 billion Chinese yuan. With a wide business scope, the complex will provide services including duty-free business, taxable retail, catering, a children's centre, entertainment, high-end offices and luxury accommodation. An iconic project, it is expected to boost the building of Hainan as an international tourism consumption centre and is due to open in June 2022. It will complete visitors' shopping experience along with its peers such as Sanya International Duty-Free Shopping Complex, Haikou Duty-Free Mova Mall, Haikou Meilan International Airport Duty-Free Shop, and Qionghai Boao Duty-Free Shop. Hainan is not just a shopper's paradise, but also an excellent place for restoring one's health and wellness. Only 6 kilometers away from the permanent site of the Boao Forum for Asia lies China's first international medical tourism pilot zone, Lecheng, which represents China's openness in the medical and health sector. Hainan Boao Lecheng International Medical Tourism Pilot Zone has been granted preferential policies to have access to medicine, medical devices and vaccines that are new to China. It is the first time for Chinese people to hear of the concept of a super hospital. Visitors from all over the world can receive cutting-edge medical services here in Lecheng, as in other countries. On the 28th of July 2020, ripretinib, the first new drug Chinese patients will be able to use at the same time as the rest of the world was approved in Bo'ao Lecheng International Medical Tourism Pilot Zone. This is the first drug for emergency use approved to leave the zone after the release of the master plan, bringing new hope for patients. In order to bring real benefit to the people, Hainan Free-Trade Port Bo'ao Lecheng Global Special Drug Insurance has extended the scope of insurance from Hainan residents to residents all over China. Now, anyone living in mainland China is eligible for insurance. The premium for the first year is as low as 39 Chinese yuan and covers 49 kinds of global anti-cancer drugs. 6 months on since June 2020, and Hainan has undergone an amazing change. We have witnessed significant innovations in the convenience of the port, in the freedom of the air, in the favourable taxation system, and in the rules governing entry and exit of people. All efforts are geared towards an ever higher level of global development. It is clear that the future of Hainan belongs to those who can make dreams a reality.